For Honor is a game created by Ubisoft. In the game, you are able to play as multiple unique warriors from different countries. The three we will be looking at in today's video are the Japanese Samurai, the European Knights, and the Scandinavian Vikings. We are going to see the accuracies and the inaccuracies in their depictions in the game. The three categories that we'll be discussing today are the armor, weapons, and techniques of each warrior.
Starting off, we have the Orochi. The Orochi is based off a typical samurai in Japan. His armor is identical to regular samurai plate armor, though for some reason it's made out of wood in the game. Actual samurai armor was never made of wood. His weapon, the katana, is accurately portrayed in the game, with realistic hand grip, and the blade is completely accurate. For his fighting style, the game stays on the accurate side, with his guard stance and attacks being based on kendo. He uses the upper posture stance for his top guard, while using the 8 aspect stance for his side guards.
Up next is the Warden. The Warden is supposed to be based on a medieval knight. The Warden's armor is rather inaccurate. His helmet is based on the Italian Barbuda helmet, but has been disputed about whether the helm was used with a visor or not. His arm protection and the rest of his armor is a random assortment of different eras of armor. He has a lack of armor all over his body. The chest plate is based on the coat of plates, but only has 6 plates, while a normal coat of plates could have upwards of 100. His armor more accurately depicts the leather armor in Minecraft. The sword is somewhat accurate, with it being a German longsword. The sword blade is a bit too thick, with it being about an inch in thickness in the game when it should be closer to 7 millimeters and taper off. The sword does not look like it would flex. The cross guard, grip, and pommel are a bit too thick as well, but all are otherwise accurate to blades at the time. The Warden's guard stances are the most accurate, with his top guard being based on the key guard, and the side guards are based on the plow guard, both being common German techniques. Most of his attacks are based on Italian and German fighting techniques, but the Warden leans towards German longsword fencing.
Last, but certainly not least, we'll be looking at the goat himself, the Highlander. The Highlander is based on the Scottish Highlanders. The helmet worn in the game is rather unrealistic, because it's neither a full leather cap nor an actual helmet. It's more this weird little crown thing. The kilt worn is much smaller than the actual great kilt that would be worn in real life. The Highlander also wears a cape in the game, even though he already has a kilt, so why would he even need a cape? Plus, in real life, they also only wore a kilt, so I don't really know what Ubisoft was thinking here. Thankfully, the footwear is accurate, as leather was an important commodity and needed to be used for the most important of equipment, such as shoes. The leather armor is inaccurate though, as the Highlanders would only wear a shirt to battle, or no covering at all, which if you ask me is pretty awesome. The weapon the Highlander uses in the game is supposed to be a claymore. The claymore in the game though is way too long, as claymores in real life were about 55 inches, whereas the in-game sword is about the size of a greatsword, which is closer to 70 inches. The blade is also too thick. The crossguard is roughly the same as the quarter-foil crossguard, a common Scottish claymore crossguard. The grip has no leather wrapping and the pommel is too small. The Highlander's guard stances are rather accurate. His top guard is based on the Wrath guard, and his side guards are based on a variant of the from the Roof guard and the Middle guard. Today, we learned that For Honor is a historically inaccurate game. However, this leaves us with the question of why is the game so inaccurate? And in our opinion, the answer is simply to look cool. While the game is very inaccurate, the character designs are amazing looking and blow the real life counterparts completely out of the water. Plus, Ubisoft's goal was never to make an accurate game, but rather a game that appealed to many audiences, and one that makes them a lot of money. Just think about it, if they wanted the game to be accurate, then these characters wouldn't even be fighting against each other. The Vikings that the Highlander is based off of were gone by the 1100s, and the Warden is based off a 14th century knight. Meanwhile, there is zero evidence that samurai ever fought against either of these two factions. This leaves us wondering, how awesome would it be to play a 100% accurate samurai, knight, or Viking game?